Is the noise up here. This mic is really hot tonight. Welcome to the Public Works and Planning Committee meeting for March 4th, 2025. It was hot. Guess we'll have the roll call, please.
Commissioner Cush. Here. Commissioner Piercy.
Here.
Commissioner P.
Here.
Commissioner James. Here. Commissioner Dodge.
Here.
Commissioner Boyd.
Here.
Chairman Johnson.
Here.
Thank you.
We'll have Vice Chair Phil Dodd to do the minutes for February.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. I have read the minutes and make a motion for their approval.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of February. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay, we have public comments. Kennedy Holloway. Come up, please. Welcome. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kennedy Holloway, and I'm a lifelong resident of Rutherford County, and I'm for the dump. I think it's foolish to pay more money to ship our trash elsewhere and to make it someone else's problem when we can just take care of it in-house. We have the room. What we need to do is stop taking Nashville's household waste. It is my understanding that half of the input to the dump comes from Davidson County. This must help cut down on the odor if we eliminate Nashville's trash. Let's face it, our trash must go somewhere. Let's lead by example and not make it someone else's problem, as Davidson has done to us. Let's look at it from the money point of view. It is more efficient to keep our waste here. This keeps taxes low. Keeping our waste here is also the best thing for the environment. Keeping our carbon footprint as low as possible is important to me. To sum it up, I'm for the dump, and I think it's foolish to ship it else and make it someone else's problem when we have the room to keep it here. Thank you.
Thank you. Ron Robertson.
Chairman Johnson.
Yes.
Would it be out of order to ask the people to state where they live?
Thank you. Welcome. And if you would just state your name and where you live. Sure. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ron Robertson. I live in the Blackman community. I've been a resident for most of my life, over 60 years, property owner for over 40 of those, a business owner, and a county employee. I've heard the concerns of those against the Republic taking over and continuing as our dump. And I understand them. They sound good. They feel good. But to be honest, that's what they are. They're feel-good statements. The regulations that they have to follow, federal and state, it's not a danger to us as long as those are maintained. And the quote that they love to do, our children's future is not for sale, is kind of rather childish rhetoric and should be left to those up in Washington for their fear tactics. The landfill's there. It's not going anywhere, whether it's open or closed. I, for one, like the idea of workers being there constantly to be sure that those regulations are followed and all the safety measures are done. I came here to discuss all the violations that our closed Rutherford County-owned landfill has, and I have them here. There's a bunch of them. They've had them for years and years and years and continue to have them. Many of those take a long time to fix. I will say they've got better. My concern is future administrations might not maintain them as well, and then we have a huge liability. Yeah, there's some also there are minor issues with the Republic's landfill, but they maintain it. They're there and they fix it quick. So I don't think those issues are that big. The big issue is we're broke. As the mayor told me in a long discussion, we don't have any money. There's nothing in the budget that can be cut, not a dime. I gave suggestions. They were thrown out. So we can't do it, and we have to build tons of schools. Those are expensive. So why are we going to throw away millions, literally millions of dollars, both in the offer that Republic has and what they already have? What they're giving us is even better, from my understanding. And then also, maybe a bigger issue hidden in all this is the liability of that big, huge Rutherford County landfill sitting there. If something went bad with it, give them the expense, which is millions of dollars a year to maintain, we're spending now, and let them take that liability. They have the equipment, the personnel, and the knowledge to do it properly. We don't. It's been said that what's best for government, it's best for government to do what the private industry won't or can't. This is one of those situations. Can I finish up real quick? Maybe we have we definitely have some room for negotiation with them. Negotiate, somebody negotiate.
Time's up, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
To continue. I mean, not to happen.
Chris Littleton. Chris Littleton. Sean McGowan. Well, how are you? Please state your name and where you live, please.
Hi, my name is Sean McGowan. I live in North Murfreesboro, about 2 miles from the Middle Point. I'm here to speak out against any expansion approval of Middle Point landfill. Like many others, I've been trying to figure out why the possible expansion is being discussed at this time. When I viewed the 2018 commission meeting, where the vote was 21-0 to reject Middle Point 2.0, and then 19-1 to prohibit any future merger between Middle Point and the county landfill, I had to ask the question of what has changed since then. I heard the commissioners at that meeting passionately speak about the negative impact that the landfill has on our air, our water, and the overall quality of life for the people in North Murfreesboro. I never heard a single commissioner say that they would want to expand Middle Point if they just had a better deal. When the commission approved the transfer station, I don't recall anyone saying they'd rather keep dumping at Middle Point if we could only get a better deal. So what has changed since then? I do know that since 2018, Middle Point has had 33 TDEC violations, of which 11 were major, and there have also been 2 fires at the landfill. I do know that about 5 million tons of out-of-county trash have been dumped there. I do know that there have been over 3,000 odor complaints by the residents of Murfreesboro in just the last 4 years. I have personally logged 8 odor complaints since the last Public Works meeting. So again, I ask, what has changed? I do know that Republic has started a full-court public relations push to show that they are now good neighbors. The Republic representatives who do not even live in Rutherford County are always on hand to give out money to projects within certain commissioners' districts, and then they go back to the local communities in Davidson and Williamson counties. I also know that they have employed an advisor who happens to work for several county commissioners. Some might say that might even be a conflict of interest. The expansion plan presented by Republic last month would extend the capacity of the landfill for another 50 years. 50 years. I would have to assume that everyone in this room won't be around in another 50 years, but what type of future will we be leaving our children and grandchildren? Will your legacy be one that protected their quality of life, or will it be one that compromised their future for the sake of free trash? When most of us look back at the initial approval of Middle Point, we wonder why it was approved in the first place. It also raised the question of, if the landfill had never been approved back then, would it get approved now? Would any of the commissioners here approve a brand-new 80-year capacity mega landfill on Jefferson Pike? If you wouldn't approve a brand-new landfill on the banks of the Stones River, then why would you approve a 50-year expansion? I'm firmly in agreement with Commissioner P. when he emphatically stated, "I'm done with taking other people's trash." Thank you.
Thank you. Michael Harris.
I'm Michael Harris, live in Christiana. I'm here in favor of the landfill expansion. A couple of things I want to bring to light. We have a 5-year deal with Waste Management to haul our trash to a different county. At the end of 5 years, well, first off, Waste Management negotiated with Joe Carr, our mayor, to get this deal done. Waste Management's not stupid. They're the largest waste hauler in the world. They know that we had a landfill. You negotiate knowing that if there's an option that the county could take, maybe we'll give them a good deal. In 5 years, when that contract is up to haul the trash and the landfill is gone or filled to capacity, and if we don't allow the extension, do you think Waste Management's going to be a nice guy and give us a good deal? I don't think so. To haul our trash to another county is nothing more than the same thing that Davidson County has done to us. Republic has come forward and said that they will not accept any more of Davidson County's residential trash. It didn't address the commercial trash, we understand that. But they're a private company, they haul trash all over the world as well. Their trash has to go somewhere. They're taking a big step, in my opinion, taking a big step cutting out all the Davidson County trash. The other thing is, like somebody else spoke, the liability of Rutherford County landfill, which is not a lined landfill. Somebody brought up over the weekend, there was a lot of bitter back and forth on Facebook talking about leachate and stuff going into the Stones River. Right now, we can't prove whether it's coming from the county landfill or from Republic. If you give that liability to Republic, guess what? You know where it's coming from. It's their problem. It's not Rutherford County. I'm afraid that Rutherford County is going to have major, major issues later down the road. Maybe we're not seeing it. Maybe it's not in our lifetime. But it just reminds me of the movie, that Aaron Brockovich with the contaminated water deal. Rutherford County, if they continue to keep that landfill, we're in for a heap of trouble. That's just my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. Keith Bratcher. Welcome, Keith.
Good evening. My name is Keith Bratcher. I spoke at y'all's last month's meeting. Maybe I didn't introduce myself quite the way I should, but anyway, my name is Keith Bratcher. I am a county highway commissioner. I represent districts 1, 2, and 3, which the landfill is in District 2. I live in District 2. I live in Lascassas, Tennessee. Just a few things. I know a lot of people talk about the landfill, its site itself, and the smell. A few things I just want to bring to light, and I have dealt with the landfill when I first got elected in 2002, so I've been dealing with the landfill and the road issues that they cause and do for the last 22, 23 years. So a few things I wanted to, and that was BFI or Republic, putting debris on the roads. If you go from the landfill up to about 231, you can tell that landfill's there. That debris's there. I was out there today. There's a bridge right there that's right there on Jefferson Pikes, the Lanny Lane Bridge. It's I've been to them several times about keeping that debris that clean, that runs off from that sludge that comes from those trucks. It runs off in that creek. I know that's a nighttime thing they would probably have to do to clean that road, but hey, that's the price of doing business. I get calls. I can't tell you how many hundreds of calls I've gotten over the years. People tell me, hey, Keith, I just went to town, went to the car wash, spent $25 to get my car clean. I come down Jefferson Pike going home, I'm getting this all over my car. I can understand that. Just right down the road, right there at Wade Spring Road, there is at Hedge Apple Lane, there's Heartland Baptist Church. I remember when they took that over, they put a nice white vinyl fence there. It's there. It looks terrible today. I went to the landfill, you can say, well, they didn't cause that. Yes, they did. I mean, there's sludge all over that white vinyl fence, holes knocked in it where rocks had come off of those trucks. I mean, it's obvious. I think maybe one time years ago they came there and pressure washed it one time, but I mean, that's just one aspect of what they do. Another one was I had went and talked to them. Jefferson Pike. Of course, that end of Jefferson Pike from Smyrna up to 840 Bridge, we've widened.
Keep your times up.
What time's up?
Yes, sir.
All right. But anyway, I am in opposition of this. I have dealt with the landfill for several years, so I know what they bring there. Thank you.
Thank you. Christy Miller. She's not going to speak tonight?
Yeah, she's going to speak. Do you want her to go in order?
Right.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Welcome.
My name is Christy Miller. I live on Stanford Drive in Murfreesboro/Las Casas. And I am against the landfill expansion. And I just wanted to share a little bit about what I've learned from, Facebook. You can always learn a lot, as well as the documentation that's found online. Can you hear me okay? Speak up? Okay, thank you. That you can learn from looking at the contracts that are signed and the meetings that are posted. So one thing that stood out to me is I've heard many of the different people say that Mayor Carr has been invited to speak here numerous times about his plan and has never come. But through researching the different meetings over the past 2.5 years, I have found that the entire commission board has voted no less than 20 times on this plan that they say they don't know anything about, whether it was in design or the structuring of the plan and everything as a whole. So it's kind of conflicting as to, hey, we don't know anything about it, but we've, over the past 2.5 years, already been putting these things in place. So that's something I wanted to highlight. Now I want to talk a little bit. I've heard that, Republic saying, hey, we're good neighbors, we're good neighbors, we're good neighbors. But I don't think many people understand to the extent of to what extent they were of bad neighbors. So I'm going to share a little bit of the data of who they've been since they've been here. Many of it comes from the Murfreesboro City lawsuit. So this is in their complaint, odors that have been found due to failed and delayed site management. Leachate that is coming from different areas of the site that was actually not permitted to be able to go into our wastewater system or into our actual into the surface water directly. PFAS, which is considered, it's called a forever chemical. I'm going so fast. Just a lot. Look it up. You'll like it. It gives a lot of information, and you'll be like, oh my goodness, what's going on? I wanted to also highlight this post that is called the Landfill in Rutherford County Economic and Fiscal Impact. What I want to highlight to this is that this was paid for by Republic with incorrect information. So if you look on to page 4, it says Middle Point Landfill is the sole Class 1 landfill within Rutherford County. That is not true. In adjacent counties, Marshall County, Cedar Ridge touches Rutherford County. It also says that there's only 2 Class 1 landfills, which is also a lie, which is White County, Montgomery County, Gibson, and Marshall. So I appreciate you guys letting me talk. I just want you to double check the accuracy as to what they're saying and not believe anything that they've paid for without doing your homework.
Thank you.
I'm done. I'm good. Thank you.
Al Miller.
Thank you. I'm a lifelong resident of Rutherford County, been here my whole life. My family's from Walter Hill, 5 miles from the dump. I live on Sanford Drive with my wife there. Some of the things I heard tonight are quite not, I'm a banker. Some of us are in real estate development. I heard today that our county's bankrupt. We have a AAA rating, 1 of 3 in the state of Tennessee. That's simply not true. I'll tell you this, the long-term plan for the landfill, if we ever had to take this landfill and remediate the damage that it's done at the end of the time, it would be a condemned property that we couldn't afford as a county, could not afford it. So I'm going to kind of veer away from that. And a quote from Warren Buffett said, "Price is what we pay, value is what we get." Well, there's a lot of prices being paid to a lot of people right now to get not a lot of value. So I'm going to kind of go over to my vision of Rutherford County and reflect on, in 1989, Ronald Reagan's farewell speech to the nation, when he said that he saw this as a shining city on a hill. Excuse me, my allergies are horrible. He said it was in his mind, it was a tall, proud, built on the rocks stronger than the ocean, windswept, God-blessed, and teeming with people of all kinds, and harmony and peace with all. Activity and ports, and hammered with commerce and creativity. And if there had been a city wall, the walls would have had open doors, and the doors would be open to all those who would welcome them in. Well, let me tell you this. What I'm seeing going on with this commission, what I'm seeing going on in this county, and what I'm seeing going on that really typically is not legal in a voting member, like I'm on a board of a bank. You typically don't vote something down and then bring it back a couple of years later. So as a lifelong resident of Rutherford County, my vision of this is, and I do have kids and grandkids that I want to bring up here and experience the same things I have. I want my kids to have this area as their home. So whoever disvalues that, good for you. And, you know, as I see this, I do not want to see this as a city on a landfill. You know, I don't want it filled with corruption. I don't want the doors shut. I don't want a Arizona company making us their landfill.
Thank you. Susan Allen. Welcome.
Good evening. My name is Susan Allen. I live on Nelson Lane in Murfreesboro. At the April 12th, 2018 meeting of the County Commission, after the results of the SWAC committee study, Commissioner Will Jordan stood before the commission and gave an impassioned speech to not approve an agreement to allow Republic Services to expand. I'm going to repeat part of what he said here, transcribed as best as I could from the YouTube video from that meeting. I believe it is as important today as it was then. This is what I found most interesting. Referring to the Middle Point landfill, Commissioner Jordan explained, they're on a finite piece of property. We own the property beside it, but they own the property on the other side of the county's property. If we allow them to go across our property 20 years from now and they're full, they've got the political power of the other municipalities that want to continue dumping here. You can't convince me, he went on to say, that they can't get approved to keep on going, to go right across what we call the old Matthews property, and then they get to the Richard Reeves property where they're mining dirt now, and they keep on going. There could be actually be a landfill for another 100 years. It could be the biggest landfill in the whole United States, if not the world, he said. But we want that in Rutherford County? I'm not just sitting here saying this stuff. This is facts, he said. This is scary stuff. We're making a landmark decision here. Again, this is in 2018. Or starting on a path to a landmark decision for Rutherford County if we allow this drilling. He was referring to taking core samples of the old county landfill. Because by doing that, we're saying that we're okay to at least consider expansion of the Middle Point 2.0. It's just the right thing to do to let that landfill run its course, close it out, and yes, we've got to deal with the liability of the old landfill. We're going to deal with that anyway. Let's just suck it up and take care of it. We started it, we built it, it's our problem, but we give it to them, we're going to landfill for decades and decades more. The vote was unanimous to deny an access to the agreement, to deny an access agreement with Republic. Following that, the commission voted 19-1-1 on a new motion to deny merger with Republic or any other company and to eliminate BFI 2.0 from further consideration. It's my opinion that the vote on April 2018 should never be rescinded unless you are okay with the political consequences of Republic expanding through the county landfill and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeff McKinney. Welcome.
Evening. My name's Jeff McKinney, and I live in North Murfreesboro. I'm a proud resident of Rutherford County, and I have been since 1986. I have watched Rutherford County grow tremendously. I remember when Osborne Lane was way out in the country, and now Osborne Lane is just down the street from our home. My wife and I, along with our 2 dogs and our neighborhood, are only about 2 miles as a crow flies from Mount Trashmore. We love our neighborhood, Murfreesboro, and Rutherford County. I'm a United States Army veteran, and I served our country with honor. I put on the uniform, and I took the oath because I love this country, and I take pride in where I am from, Rutherford County, Tennessee. But let's talk about something that affects all of us, the trash of Middle Tennessee. What happens when someone from Davidson County, Sumner County, Putnam County, Franklin County, and what I've been told, a total of 37 counties in Middle Tennessee takes out the trash? They toss out old sour milk, a dirty diaper, a rotten piece of chicken they forgot to grill for their wife, old batteries from their flashlight, or nasty paper towels they used to clean up the floor when their dog got sick. What does Davidson County, Sumner County, Putnam County, Franklin County, and again, what I've been told, 37 total counties in Middle Tennessee do with all those stinky, nasty things? When they put them out, they roll their bins to the curb and forget about it. They never think about those things again. They never have to look at those things again. They never say, wow, I could really smell the dump tonight while I'm trying to enjoy myself outside for the evening. Wow, Mount Trashmore is really getting higher nowadays. All they do is put it on the curb and walk away. Not Rutherford County. We have to live with their trash forever. We have to continue to smell their trash forever. We have to continue to look at their trash forever. And we continue to drive down the roads that are being destroyed by all the trash trucks running up and down our roads. And some of you want to add another 30 years of trash to Rutherford County. This is unacceptable. We have been the trash dump for Middle Tennessee for almost 30 years. It's someone else's turn. As of 2024, Republic is a $72 billion company. $72 billion. Let them go buy another county. It's not us. This is Rutherford County and not Republic County. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your service. I'll probably mess this up, but Mishka Nemeth. Evening. Comments is. Oh, you sign it.
Good evening. Mea culpa for anybody who I've offended. I was pretty upset when I first heard that this had come back up. I thought this settled this issue.
Chairman, where's this guy from?
My name's Misha Namath. I live on Barfield Road. And I thought that I have 10 signatures. I thought I was in for 30 minutes, but apparently I've only got 3. So my understanding was I keep hearing from some of the county commission that they want to see the mayor's plan. It was my clear understanding that for the last couple years, the county commission has debated and taken numerous votes on the mayor's plan, ultimately adopting it. And I always thought that was the appropriation, construction, and implementation of the Rutherford County Transfer Station, which will keep Nashville trash out of our county. Isn't that the plan that everybody's voted on? I've spoken with other people on the Greenway that say they can see the pollution in the river, the poison, and our kids play soccer in the shadow of the landfill, and they have to smell this nasty poison. It really lowers the value of our life in Rutherford County. Where's our governor on this? Where's Governor Bill Lee? You know, this is Nashville garbage, and if we stopped accepting Nashville garbage tomorrow, not next year, not 4 years from now, but tomorrow, then that garbage would pile up in the streets of Nashville. And they've got the state legislature up there, and they've got the governor's office, and they own all kinds of land. So let's let them lead, and let's let them find a place for another landfill, because Rutherford County's had enough. If the stink trash starts piling up in the streets of Nashville, they're going to come up with a solution. And maybe instead of us trying to lead, maybe the state of Tennessee can lead, and Nashville, Davidson, Rutherford County can lead, and then we can follow, because we've done our part. We've taken this trash for 30 years. When I was a kid, I used to swim at the at the Walter Hill swimming hole, and I remember watching on TV a man from the state holding up a big piece of neoprene, and he guaranteed us that this neoprene liner that they were going to put in the bottom of that landfill was going to prevent the landfill from spewing poison into our river. Where's that state man from the state of Tennessee? They made a promise. Our river's poisoned. They need to lead the way. Rutherford County's done.
Thank you. Next, we have the Solid Waste and Convenience Center report. Director Wagner. Evening.
Sounds like we're talking about garbage. Rutherford County Solid Waste Director, Bishop Wagner. Good evening. I've got 3 portions of the report tonight, so I'm going to go through them in order. First with my typical solid waste report. Rutherford County landfill accepted 90.58 tons of brush for a revenue of $2,717 in the month of February. We managed 414 tires for a revenue of $828. The February's total revenue from our landfill scale operations was $3,545. Rutherford County Solid Waste managed 3,024.61 tons of waste from all sources in the month of February. 2,232.17 came from our convenience centers, and 513.92 came from our schools. We recycled and diverted 278.52 tons from all sources, and that's a diversion rate of 9.21% for February. Keep in mind, too, we lost a truck this month that was collecting our recycling, so our numbers are down a little bit because of that. That concludes that portion of my report for vote.
Since you mentioned it, have you got another truck yet?
Yes, I have. We've got 2024 Peterbilt with the same type of body that we bought the last time. It is up and ready to go on the road, and my driver was released from his injuries from the doctor today.
Chairman Johnson, do we want to approve these individually or let him get through and do them all at one time?
It's the wish of the committee. We can do them all at one time.
Do them all at once, then.
Okay.
Okay, the next portion that I have is, I think I'm going to do the update on G Street, if that's appropriate with you.
Yeah.
Okay. So Chairman Johnson had asked that I look into trying to figure out some control issues with the gate and some of the damage that's been done out on the G Street property. So this is the first step in moving toward a resolution, and perhaps it will be what finally works. We don't know. We're just going to kind of play it by ear, but I wanted to fill you in on it. So what we did is we installed an interior gate. This is something that is present in the other two new convenience centers that we had that was not placed in this facility. So we went and installed one. As you can see over there to the right-hand side, we also put a gravel track, basically a shoulder on that, because people were driving off and they were damaging the grass, so that kind of protects that grass that's happening there. The goal here with this is we're going to do some operational controls. Whenever we're swapping out a compactor, we'll close that interior gate. We'll also have somebody stationed at the exterior gate that will notify citizens that if the line is full, to move on past, go to another center, come back in 30 minutes, and the box they'll be open and ready for accepting waste. This is we also had placed some striping in the middle of that lane. As you can see, actually that was done by one of my attendants on his own time to do that, and I think he did a really good job. And you can see that it divides those up into two lanes so that we can get to our 32-car stacking queue. And there's a view of the gate from inside with the tracking. And then there's kind of a look down the lane with the arrows that were painted and the striping that's been placed there to divide the lane into two. So next steps are we're going to be monitoring the flow of traffic at this convenience center to make sure that we're not having this continual issues of people being queued out on the street. I'll say that since the striping has been in place and we've been doing this, I've noticed a significant improvement in just the organization of the citizens as they enter the facility. What would happen is you might have two people that were side by side, and then somebody would just park up in the middle, and it would just caused a real mess that was happening there, and we've seemed to have remedied that. But we're going to continue to monitor it to make sure that there's some other things that happen. I think go back one, there might be you can see there, people tend to want to go heavy to the left-hand side of the facility. Well, there's disposal options on all sides, and typically what happens is I'll have more cars on the left-hand side that are just trash only that need to be directed, if they only have trash, that they could go to the right two lanes as well, and that would help free those things out. And staff has been instructed to wait at that cone there and talk to those citizens, or walk up and down the line to talk to the citizens as they come, to make sure that they understand what the flow is of that station. And that's all I have on that. Are there any questions about that? All right, so the final thing I have here is this is the time of the year when we present, or I give you the annual progress report and the data that we've collected from both the cities and municipalities, the Rutherford County government, and the companies that have contributed recycling and diversion activities and numbers to us through the system on behalf of TDEC. So in your viewers, you can see that there's a 50-something page document that not only has the data that we collected and the reports that are coming from that in summary, it also has the 1994 signed solid waste regional plan. That's the plan that we operate to engage in this activity through the board with TDEC. And I realized I got some questions about that plan in particular and about what it was and what this update is. And effectively, this helps you to kind of see that there really wasn't a whole lot to the original idea. It was just us getting together to work on these issues with the multi-county region, and the issues being identified as increasing our recycling and diversion activities. So I'm going to give you, this is an unofficial calculation that's done on my behalf. What happens is we submit these numbers into the state. The state then will go through, they receive some reports from entities that don't go through us, that don't give us the surveys, so from businesses that I may never see, which would increase our diversion aspect. We also take these values that we have and we combine them with the other 3 counties in our region, of which they're Cannon, Coffee, and Warren counties in the central region, Solid Waste Planning Board, that we combine them all together to get one solid number. The goal from 2015 to 2025 was a 25% reduction goal. We've met that every year since we've started the plan, and according to my unofficial calculations, which entail the material and data that we've collected, we have met that. We've exceeded it with 34.13% of diverted material. That's from the city of Murfreesboro. Nissan North America gives us a considerable amount, and a couple of other companies. They're all in that data viewer for you to review. Then I have this last thing. It's kind of an update of what we've done. So in 2024, Rutherford County made some major strides towards solid waste independence. First, we experienced an entire year of increased recycling participation by utilizing a single stream recycling model at our 14 county convenience centers. Rutherford County recycled 4,344.08 tons of materials from our convenience centers, schools, and county facilities. This is good news for us, but we can do better. Secondly, Rutherford County has nearly completed a monumental task of planning, designing, and constructing a new solid waste transfer and management facility at 6,000 Landfill Road. This project will allow us to manage Rutherford County's waste once Middle Point Landfill enters its post-closure phase of life. This facility is an integral part in enabling Rutherford County to manage county-generated waste as we continue to grow in population density. This facility also importantly allows the county to have the potential to generate a positive revenue stream for use in the management of county-generated solid waste. Waste generated by businesses, construction companies, and restaurants located within Rutherford County will have a choice in where they decide to dispose of their waste. Rutherford County will charge for these services. These funds will pay for the operation of the facility, future residential disposal costs, as well as help pay for existing operational costs associated with the collection at our county convenience centers. The elegance of this model is that as Rutherford County grows and more waste is generated, Rutherford County is able to keep pace financially without negative impact to the taxpayer. In 2024, Rutherford County faced some significant solid waste and recycling challenges. In particular, the recycling center at Haley Road. As you remember, what began as a simple sewer issue cascaded into a major need for remediation of the facility. We have taken major steps in returning to and increasing the potential of that much-loved facility. However, we still have some hard work to do. Rutherford County Solid Waste continues to work with Rutherford County Planning and Engineering to come up with solutions for the roadblocks that are preventing our return to operations. We will achieve this goal and have a recycling education and training facility that we all can be proud of. Finally, I have and will maintain steadfast in the implementation of actions and activities related to the management of solid waste and recycling within Rutherford County, as directed by the Rutherford County Mayor. As the only qualified solid waste professional working for Rutherford County government, I assure you that each and every decision concerning the collection, hauling, and disposal of waste and recycling made by this department has always put Rutherford County first. I will maintain steadfast in my resolve to provide each citizen of Rutherford County with my experience and expertise in the management of Rutherford County's materials. To that end, I will continue to gather data, explore options, and provide recommendations that I believe are in the continued best interest of Rutherford County. I will engage in these activities on your behalf, free from personal conflicts, with complete transparency, and driven by the utmost desire to serve my community. Thank you.
Is that all you have, Bishop?
That's all I have.
I make the motion to approve all three reports as presented.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve all three reports. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Now I have a question. I've sat on this committee going on 11 years. Every year we update our 10-year plan. Has it been updated for this term yet, for the previous year?
It will be approved, voted on the 24th of March at the Central Region Board.
That's a 10-year plan.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you, Bishop.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Planning and Engineering Director Doug DeMasi. Welcome.
Yeah, sorry, I got nothing on that. Good evening, Commissioners. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. We have two items for your consideration tonight. The first is our available lot inventory. That is through February of 2025. You will find that on your iPads. You'll see that our total available lots in the county is about 1,191 lots. That is up about 80 or 90 so from last month. We have had several larger subdivision sections be approved over the last few months, so that's kind of contributing to the upward trend we've seen in our lot inventory since the beginning of the year. Also, this time of year, we start, the slowdown from the holidays on building permit activities tends to start going the other direction, so I would expect to see more building permit activity. This number will fluctuate in time, but I just want to let you know that that's kind of where we're sitting as we speak. If there's no questions on that, I will go ahead and go into our rezoning report. We will have one rezoning application for your consideration next week. This is by Chris Rudd. This is located along Almaville Road. Property's existing zoning is zoned RM, residential medium density, and they're asking for the Employment and Activity Center, or the EAC, zoning classification. The size of the site total is about 39 acres. It's actually within 3 tracts of land, but together they equal about 39 acres of land. As I stated, the applicant does propose to zone this property from RM to EAC. According to their submitted application, their application would accommodate the construction of 3 buildings for distribution and warehousing with a variety of vehicular and truck parking for use by the building tenants. Each building would contain some amount of office space as well, but however, specific tenants have not been identified at this time. You will find a concept plan along with the staff report that is on your iPads. You'll see that those 3 buildings have a total area of about 431,000 square feet and change. Of course, this is not a planned development, so they're not locked into that as an exact size, but it does give the commissioners an idea on how they propose to develop the property. All of our county requirements, of course, should this application be approved, they would have to submit a site plan to our office for our review and also for Planning Commission review. I will say that traffic is something that we've talked quite a bit about on this property. We have had a scoping meeting with our traffic consultant and their development team. They have executed the memorandum of understanding and have begun the traffic study. I don't know if we'll have the results prior to next week's meeting, but again, since there's not specific tenants at this point, this is something that I think, if this is approved, that we could handle at the site plan stage. But this is something that the traffic study is on the its way. They are in the process of working on that, so I just wanted to make sure everybody understood that. During the Planning Commission meeting, the Planning Commissioners did have questions about the proposed use of the property. Again, it was answered distribution and warehousing with some office space. There were also questions about the applicant's effort to discuss his plans with the surrounding neighbors. There was one speaker during the public hearing. He was opposed to the request and had concerns about the appropriateness of the zoning to the area, lighting, noise, and traffic. Of course, we went over some of those concerns during the meeting. Following the public hearing, the Planning Commission did ask some other questions of the development in the area along 840, and also some of our signage regulations, screening, and our performance standards as well. Following this discussion, the Planning Commission did recommend approval of the application by a vote of 8-4 and 1 against, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
No questions? Okay. You can continue.
And that's my report.
We have a motion and a second to approve the report. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Thank you, Doug.
Yes, thank you. And just one quick announcement. I know some of you are probably wondering where we are with Plan Rutherford. We had a call today with our consultant team. We are in the process of looking at some dates for the next work session on that. So I just want to let you know that things still are progressing, but I just want to let you know that, that'll be upcoming soon. So we'll let you know when that happens.
Thank you. Building Codes Report, Director Tanya Bell. Evening.
Good evening. I'm Tanya Bell, the Building Codes Director, and I have the building report for February. In the month of February, we issued a total of 315 building permits. Of those 315, 79 of those were single-family dwellings, for a total revenue of $268,687.88. I hope you got that, because it's not my favorite number. We did a total of 1,169 building inspections and drove a little better than 8,800 miles. And if nobody has any questions, I will move on to school facilities tax and development tax. In the month of February, we collected a total of $519,757.50 in school facilities tax. You'll notice that number's jumped significantly from previous months, and that is because we are starting to see some revenue from the permits that we issued in October. Those homes are starting to get finished up, so the revenue is starting to come in from the single-family dwellings that we issued back in October. So that should start to increase. You'll also see an adjustment of $74,167 all the way over to the right-hand side. That was a group of lots that a builder had come in prior to October 1st and paid the school facilities tax up front and ended up not building on those lots, and he sold them. So the school facilities tax, the County Powers Relief Act, states that the school facilities tax fee applies the day the building permit is issued. And since October 1st, we went from $1 a square foot to $1.50 a square foot. It was cleaner to refund the old builder for the lots prior to October 1st and then reissue to the new builder when he gets ready to issue his building permit. So that's where that $74,000 adjustment came from. We also issued or collected $750, one development tax receipt, $750. So that brings us to a total revenue for the current fiscal year of a little better than $2.9 million. All right, anybody have any questions? So I will move on to zoning enforcement. Zoning enforcement did a total of 197 inspections in the month of February. You'll see there was a lot of signs pulled. We had a couple of days where the inspectors went out and just spent a couple of days pulling signs. And that concludes my report.
We have a motion to approve and a second. All in favor? All opposed?
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you, too. And we have the Highway Department, Superintendent Greg Brooks. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Greg Brooks, I'm the Rutherford County Road Superintendent, and I have tonight for you, I believe you should have it also in a SharePoint, a slope easement and a temporary construction easement that the city of Murfreesboro needs from our partial there on Rutledge Way in an effort to make improvements to Rutledge Way that will connect to the Rutherford Boulevard extension. It's 710 square feet, the way I remember it, of permanent slope easement, and 920 feet, I believe, of temporary construction easement. So this will have to be signed by the mayor, so it's here tonight. My assumption is it's here tonight to move forward to the full commission for their approval. My suggestion would be, even though you may also have an appraisal for this 710 feet, that puts a value of $5,500, I believe, on this property. My suggestion is that we donate this property to the city of Murfreesboro to help do our part to move this project forward. They are our partners after all, and I can assure you that I will need something from them very soon. So, any questions?
Any questions? Would you entertain a motion? Would you state the motion, please?
And I'll second that motion.
Okay. We have a motion and a second to donate the easement to the city of Murfreesboro for $0. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That's, yes, we need to go forward for budget.
Yes. Commissioner Cush? Yes. Commissioner Piercy?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner James? Yes. Commissioner Dodd?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Chairman Johnson?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. There you are. I was looking around for Nick. Now we have Nick Christensen with the Quitclaim of abandoned old public rights on Shores Road. Welcome.
It's starting to get kind of nasty outside, so everybody get your umbrellas out when you go back out. Committee members, I've got a couple items for you tonight. The first is with respect to a roadway over on Shores Road and Old Shores Road. Many years ago, 840 was installed, and as part of that, there was a portion of Shores Road that was abandoned, and it splits two abutting pieces of property. It has not been used as a right-of-way for many, many years. And the property owners that the roadway splits have requested to clear up title, any title issues, that the southern property owner be deeded the roadway that's up to the center line down to them, and the northern property owner be deeded the center line up to them. They're owned by, the two adjoining property owners are the same, so this is really just a cleanup of things that have already been done, just to ensure that when they go to plat the property, I believe there's already going to be a development that's going to go in there and it'll go through the requisite processes and protocols, that there's no question that they own that small section of Old Shores Road that has not been a road for, I guess, since 840, when Greg, that was 15 years ago or something like that. So that's what has been prepared for you tonight. The documents are on SharePoint, and we'd ask that you approve this at the request of the adjoining property owners.
We have a motion. Did I hear a second? We have a motion and a second to approve. All in favor? Or do money involved? Yeah, roll call.
And it looks like are there two distinct easements, one for each?
Yeah.
I'll make sure my motion is that both, I'm making a motion to approve both simultaneously.
That's right. The two documents are uploaded. That's correct.
Any questions?
Is there any money being exchanged for any of this property?
No.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
All righty. Commissioner Kush.
Yes.
Commissioner Piercy.
Yes.
Commissioner P.
Yes.
Commissioner James.
Yes.
Commissioner Dodd.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson.
Aye.
Commissioners, the next item is a document entitled An Assignment and Assumption Agreement. A number of years ago, the county did a tripartite agreement with the town of Smyrna and a developer with respect to the installation of sewer that is underneath county roadway. It's very close to where the town of Smyrna jurisdiction begins. The actual subdivision development is within the town of Smyrna jurisdiction, but the sewer that is necessary to construct the subdivision falls outside of that jurisdiction and is under county roads. The county commission previously approved that arrangement. The developer has now is ready to pass it off to the builder, and it'll be the builder that will be constructing the sewer improvements. And so they're seeking to have the agreement assigned to that builder. I've checked with Greg Brooks. He's involved in this with me, and there will be a required bond to be posted for the improvements. I've also consulted with Jeff Peach with the town of Smyrna. They have already approved this assignment, and so as a matter of form, I brought it to you tonight to get approval to assign the previously approved agreement to the builder.
I don't mean to be rash, but I understand this, and upon your recommendation, motion to approve the assignment.
We have a motion and a second to approve assignment. Yeah, we'll do a roll call.
Commissioner Kush.
Yes.
Commissioner Piercy.
Yes.
Commissioner P.
Yes.
Commissioner James.
Yes.
Commissioner Dodd.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson.
Aye.
Thank you.
The last item, the mayor's office had requested that I present tonight. Make sure if you see Mr. Hennessy, you wish his son a happy birthday. He turns 2 tomorrow, and so cannot be here tonight. At any rate, this is a document that the city of Murfreesboro is requesting be approved by the county. It is regarding the Plainview Public Health and Safety Building because there are certain apparatuses that are connected into the city sewer system. I don't know all the details of exactly what is being done, but it is necessary to work with their city water department and sewer department. They have asked us to sign this release and covenant not to sue them for anything that we do in connection with installing and connecting into their sewer system. It is a routine document. We have signed these for, I believe, other public health and safety buildings, so we're requesting that this body approve this.
Any questions on this? I would entertain a motion. We have a motion and a second. Somebody need to go to budget list.
Commissioner Kush.
Yes.
Commissioner Piercy.
Yes.
Commissioner P.
Yes.
Commissioner James.
Yes.
Commissioner Dodd.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson.
Aye.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks, guys.
Anyone have anything under other business?
Chairman Johnson,
Yes, sir. Mr. Piercy.
I was out at the transfer station today, and I see Mr. Brooks is slipping out the door, but I was very pleased with the behaving and the road work he is doing to our transfer station. It looks very well. In fact, it's a little better road than the Jefferson Pike now. So it should serve its purpose. And I'd like to also take this time to commend the people that come here tonight to speak on public speaking, whether you were for or against. It takes great courage to stand up here and try to put your thoughts into words into 3 minutes. And I applaud each and every one of you. But in return for my comments, I've been the commissioner in the 2nd District for 11 years, and I have fought the expansion for 11 years, and I will continue to fight. Thank you.
Anyone else under other business? I had several phone calls and emails about the last snow that we had and about our county workers that had to get out in the snow and do their job to make it safe and a good place to, safe place to drive and live. They get out there and, of course, they're getting paid, but do they get paid enough? It's worth much more for what they do. They get out there and sacrifice, not just to get a paycheck. Most of them love their job, and they put their time in, and even more time than people realize. And it was I was primarily asked to thank the people with the road department, and I'll do that. I appreciate them clearing the roads and did a fine job, an excellent job, the best I've seen. But our convenient workers, convenience center workers, EMS, all emergency workers, everybody, any workers that even just came into the office to work, you know, it's really appreciated, and I promised that I would pass that on. So, thank you, everyone that went beyond your scope of your job. Any other business? Okay, we stand adjourned.